The Boston Red Sox have won 7 of their last 8 games and all of a sudden are 5 games over 500. After taking 2-3 from the Phillies and Yankees, the Sox held a meeting to make sure they didn't let it get to their heads too much, and the team responded with a sweep over the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's break it down game by game. In the first one, Nick Pivetta pitched 7 innings, allowing 3 runs on 9 hits, while striking out 4 batters for his 4th win of the season. Connor Wong extended his hitting streak to 10 games with a single to left in the 4th inning. Tyler O'Neill hit 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats. The Sox added 2 additional solo home runs from Rafael Devers and Rafaela, while Bobby Delbick and Rob Refsnyder added their additional RBIs for Boston. In Game 2, Rafaela had 3 hits, including a tie-breaking single in the 8th inning. He singled in the 5th inning, doubled in the 7th, then drove in a pinch runner, who was David Hamilton, with a single off Chad Green in Boston's 2-run 8th inning. This was his 7th straight game with a hit, and during that stretch, a .615 batting average, going 16 for 26. O'Neill homered and scored twice, and Devers had 2 hits as the Sox won for the 7th time in 9 games. Zach Kelly got 4 outs for the win. Brennan Bernardino got 2 outs in the 8th, and Justin Slayton got the 3rd. Kenley Jansen closed it out for his 13th save and 14 chances. Dominic Smith opened the scoring with a 2-out RBI single in the 2nd, but the Blue Jays answered in the bottom half with Ernie Clement's 2-run double. Masataka Yoshida tied it with a 2-out single in the 6th. Reese McGuire followed with a walk, but the Blue Jays right-hander Chris Bassett ended his outing by retiring Smith on a comebacker. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa chased Red Sox starter Tanner Houck and put Toronto up 3-2 in the bottom of the 6th with a 2-out single just inside the first baseline. O'Neill tied it again with a leadoff home run against Little in the 8th. It was the 15th homer of the season for him. He connected twice, of course, in Boston's 7-3 win on Monday, like I said, in his first 2 at-bats. 2 outs later, Smith singled and was replaced by Hamilton, who stole second before scoring on Rafaela's hit. Houck allowed 3 runs and 6 hits in 5 2/3 innings. He walked 2 and struck out 5. He said after the game that, quote, "My stuff was kind of flat again today," and, quote, Houck said, "It just goes to show that this was one of his worst starts of the season, and he still was pretty good. He put his team in a situation to win." Houck has already pitched 96 2/3 innings through 15 starts. His major league high in innings pitched was 106 last season. He will get an extra day's rest as the Red Sox plan to skip him Sunday in Cincinnati and move his start to Monday at Fenway Park. The Sox will go to a bullpen game Sunday, with the opener to be determined based on which relievers are not used in the first 2 games against the Reds. And looking at how Bassett did, he allowed 2 runs and 7 hits in 6 innings. He walked 2 and struck out 6. Chris Martin was activated off of the 15-day injured list. He was dealing with some anxiety type of symptoms. Hamilton returned after leaving Monday's game because of discomfort in his left side. And then Game 3, which was the Sox going for the sweep, Kevin Gausman was on the mound against Brian Bayo. Looking at Bayo, over the past month, he had allowed 13 earned runs in his previous 3 starts. Entering Wednesday, he'd thrown just 4 2/3 innings in each of his previous 2 starts. Bayo finished with 2 runs allowed on 7 hits and 2 walks, striking out 6 over 6 innings. He definitely didn't have his best stuff, but he stranded 2 base runners in each of his first 3 innings. The Blue Jays capitalized in the 4th. They had 3 straight singles on his first 4 pitches of the inning. They scored a run and cut it to a 2-1. The Sox were up by 2 at the time. Bayo loaded the bases after a walk, but got Justin Turner to ground into a double play. The tying run did score, but Bayo certainly was happy to take that. Whenever you have the bases loaded in a no-out situation, a double play is going to be your best bet. Either that or a strikeout, I guess, but he worked around a double in the 5th, but then had a 1-2-3-6. Quote, "That's what he needs to do," Cora said, "pound the strike zone and forget about the results. Just stay with the process," and he did great, end quote. The offense for the Sox through 17 games this month has been absolutely electric. They have a major league lead, 294 with an 824 OPS. On Wednesday, Jarren Duran's solo homer in the 5th snapped a 2-2 tie, and the Sox kept adding. In the 6th, Romy Gonzalez hit a 2-out single through the second base hole, scoring a run, and Duran drove in another run with an RBI single. Earlier, David Hamilton singled in a run, and Emmanuel Valdez hit a solo homer to give the Red Sox an early 2-0 lead. He absolutely crushed that ball. Couldn't even find it when I went back and downloaded it, man. That's how freaking far he hit it. The entire lineup has been producing for the Sox. Home runs absolutely have helped, but it's also been the Sox aggressiveness on the base pass. They stole 5 more bases on Wednesday and lead the American League with 29 steals this month. Quote, I think we're just playing our style of baseball right now, and we're just being really patient at the plate and taking what the opposing team is giving us, Duran said. We're not trying to do too much, we're just keeping it simple, and I love that about us, end quote. The team made changes to their hitting, and it's clearly working. Plus, rookies are gaining confidence as they continue to gain experience in the league. The Red Sox, once again, they activated Chris Martin from the injured list. He had missed the previous 14 games. He ended up throwing a scoreless inning. There was a crazy play, which I did include in the highlights, where he fell and got it with his bare hand and then threw it to first. And somehow it found his way there in time for the out. It was a crazy play. We're still waiting to get back Tristan Cassis and Vaughn Grissom. Bobby Delbick certainly is going to be sent back to the minors after Abreu is activated, which should be the first game against the Reds, so that's tomorrow, Friday. It's Thursday when recording this, but he should be good to go tomorrow. He'll play another minor league game today. You look at the last 9 series against the Blue Jays, it's resulted in a sweep. Whether we sweep them or they sweep us, it's pretty crazy. Some other notes, we improved to 10-9 against the American League East. 32-4 when leading after 6 innings. David Hamilton recorded his 7th stolen base in his last 7 games. Our offense has given Bayo 6 or more runs of support 6 times this season, which is certainly something you like to see with how elite we are when we score 4 or 5 runs. Cincinnati's 35-39, but don't expect the Sox to not stay in attack because they had that meeting after the Phillies and Yankees series. This is a team that wants to win a World Series. They have no interest in being a 500 team. It's not to say that they're going to buy at the deadline. That's going to be up to Craig Breslow. But from what we've seen, this team is trying to get back on track. This is the best baseball they've been playing all season, and I don't expect that to slow down anytime soon. In terms of the All-Star game, it's not looking like we're going to have an all-star, which is extremely disappointing. Sox fans just have not been voting. So if you are watching to this point, go and vote. Rafael Devers is on pace for his highest OPS season of his career, and his WRC plus and slugging percentage are the highest among American League third basemen. He's 10th in WAR as well in the AL, but it's looking like Jose Ramirez is going to get the start. Jarren Duran isn't even in the top 20 outfielders, which goes to show how ridiculous fan voting is. It's just a joke. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I have not voted, and part of that is on me, but at the same time, why would the fan voting matter? It should absolutely go to the players and the coaches. Now, I get that, yeah, sure, it's the fans, it's all about them, but when Jarren Duran isn't in the top 20 for American League outfielders, when he's the second best center fielder in not only the American League, but I would say probably even, I don't know about in baseball, but I would say in the American League he's definitely number 2, but behind Aaron Judge, at least in my opinion. And then Tanner Houck certainly should be an all-star. He arguably should even be starting the game. He has a 2.14 ERA, which is the second best in the American League. He's got 94 strikeouts and 96 2/3 innings. He currently leads all AL starters in FW WAR, which is a crazy stat. And in terms of just going out there and pitching innings, he's second in the American League. The last Red Sox pitcher to start an All-Star game was Pedro Martinez in 1999, so it would be absolutely awesome to see Houck get it, but he's not going to unless you and I go and vote.